Welcome back. You know, one of the most amazing things about the discoveries that we're looking at in this series is that they all place the events of the Gospels in the correct time in history. They confirm the timing of the events of Scripture. Here's why I say that. Critics of Christianity will look at the Bible and they'll say, okay, these stories were written not during the time of Christ, but 100 years later and in a different part of the world. And if that were the case, they would have to explain how the authors of Scripture got so many small details correct in the accounts. And they got these details correct without the use of the internet and without libraries and without books and without newspapers in the 2nd century. The most plausible explanation for them getting all of these details correct is that they were reporting actual events that they had experienced firsthand, or that maybe they interviewed eyewitnesses that had experienced it firsthand. And there's so many discoveries that have happened over the last couple hundred years that confirm or that are in alignment with the events and the accounts in the Scriptures. And in this series, we're looking at 5 of them. Today, we're on to number 3. And we pick up where we left off last time. We were at Caiaphas' house, the high priest, with the teachers of the law, and they're trying to get rid of Jesus. And so they have a unanimous vote. Yes, he has committed blasphemy. He needs to be done away with. And so they leave Caiaphas' house and they take him next to Pontius Pilate. And Pontius Pilate was the Roman appointed governor of Judea during the time of Jesus. And all 4 gospel writers write about Pontius Pilate. In varying levels of detail that they give around this interaction that Jesus has with Pontius Pilate. If you want to read them for yourself, you can look at them in Matthew 27, Mark 15, Luke 23, or John chapters 18 to 19. And at moments, Pilate kind of looks indifferent. At other times, he looks kind of like he's the antagonist of the story, but there's no question that he had a huge hand in the crucifixion of Jesus. And in 1961, evidence was discovered of Pontius Pilate. There was an Italian archaeological crew that was working on a site in Caesarea Maritima, which is about an hour north of modern-day Tel Aviv, right on the coast of the Mediterranean. And they discovered a stone plaque that read, "To the divine Augusti, Tiberium, Pontius Pilate, prefect of Judea, has dedicated this." And even though we don't have all the words, we can be pretty sure that this was a plaque that Pontius Pilate had put on a temple that he had built and dedicated that temple to the current emperor, Tiberius. And there's so much to unpack here with this, far more than what we have time for in this video. But the main thing to take away here is that is the first physical evidence of Pontius Pilate. He had been written about by ancient historians, but this was the first physical evidence we had of him being a real historical figure. It also, because of the mention of Tiberius, it puts him once again in the right time frame in history. At the time of Christ, serving underneath Emperor Tiberius, who was in place from 14 AD to 37 AD. Physical evidence of a person who participated in the trial and who had some responsibility in the crucifixion of Jesus. The Pilate stone is another evidence of Easter. We'll see you on Good Friday.